Hello everyone, welcome back to the Steam Completion Challenge. This is a challenge in which I'm beating each one of the games in my 1500 plus Steam library. If you're interested in seeing what I've played up to this point, check out the playlist in the description or in the card in the corner. Anyways, on to today's episode, Boombox Blue. Unlike the more recent titles covered on this channel, Boombox Blue is probably not on anyone's radar, which shouldn't be surprising. This was made by the studio Vigart P, which to my knowledge is an indie studio most known for their indie game, Plantera, which is the game I know most from them. Anyways, this particular game today was released on Steam in December of 2017. There seems to be no active fan base for this game, as the most recent of anything I could find was another video on it, released about a year ago. One of the main reasons I decided to cover this game is to show how diverse a Steam library can be, since not every game is going to be a AAA developed $60 game. There are going to be smaller titles that are still fun, even if they have a lower playtime. Anyways, let's talk about the gameplay of Boombox Blue. On the Steam page, the developer refers to this game as a frenzied skill-based physics game, which is somewhat true. I think a better definition for it is an arcade-styled bullet hell with a Puyo Puyo or Tetris style of blocks. Now that is more confusing, right? So what do I mean? Well, in puzzle games like Puyo Puyo or Tetris, the blocks used fall from the top and go to the bottom. The caveat in this game is the lack of control of these blocks. However, as the player, you control the blue block in the middle and you try to dodge all the ones falling below. This is the part that makes it more of a bullet hell, because you take damage anytime you hit any of the blocks that are falling.
Just a cartoon. Cartoons can't hurt you.
In terms of getting rid of the blocks, there's pretty much one option: bombs.
What am I doing? Oh, I'm making a bomb.
And that's pretty much the gameplay loop. Dodge the falling blocks and blow them up. The longer you survive, the higher your score. There are a few other things that can happen in the game besides that, but it's easier to explain within the context of a round of the game. On the start of a round, we are immediately under fire of these large red cubes that come down. Using the mouse, we just have to dodge them while picking up items. The items we can grab are the mentioned bombs, but also these stars and even burgers. The stars serve as a leveling system. The more you collect, the higher level you can be. The burgers, on the other hand, are in the forms of lives or health. When you're not at max health, you can eat one of these burgers and regain another hit. But if you are at max health, well, disgusting. Anyways, outside of those pickups, there are a few more hazards in a run, these being winds and blackout phases. With the winds, all the blocks on the screen get blown over from one side of the screen to the other, and during the blackouts, only the very center of the screen is visible, making it way harder to dodge the blocks. These seem to be set on a timer, so every once in a while you'll get one of these two scenarios. As the game continues on, the rate of the game will increase and other types of blocks start to show up. The first one outside of red is the yellow longer rectangles. Then we can get to our tiny pink cubes, which are very fast and lightweight. Some celery sticks make an appearance as well. Then last but not least, the large coal blocks rain from above. These are the hardest to avoid as they take up the most space and fall the fastest of the bunch. Dealing with these blocks is simple enough. They all go down after one bomb to the face. But in terms of a run of the game, that is pretty much it. But one thing I did leave out is what happens between games. Well, remember those stars I just mentioned? So those are actually in the form of leveling currency. Essentially, after you picked up a certain amount of them, you level up and get a skill slot to use. In between rounds, you can use these skill slots to upgrade a variety of things. These being health, bomb explosion radius, bomb carrying capacity, and even the star drop rate. When I ran through this game for the first time, I put most of my credits into getting more stars. That way I could upgrade everything else pretty quickly. In the video footage for this game, you may have noticed that everything is already maxed out. This is due to it being my second run through. And now we're at the point of asking what counts as beating this game, which of course for the non-story games can be kind of difficult to define. So for this game I decided is when all the achievements are unlocked, and the in-game upgrades are fully maxed out. There isn't too much difficulty in doing this as the game loop is extremely repetitive and continuous. The only part that may have some difficulty would be the achievements regarding destroying a certain amount of each block type, but it still should be quite doable with enough repetition. Overall, the game is pretty simple but enjoyable. This is the shortest game I've covered thus far, but as I alluded to earlier, not all the games in one's library has to be this super AAA title with hundreds of hours of playtime. The next games coming soon will pack more of a punch than this game though, so there's still more to come. For those interested in what the Steam features are, if you were to purchase this game on Steam, it would cost you 99 cents. You can also get this game as a part of the Varric P Studios collection alongside 11 other titles. In terms of the bundle, it has some good things, but it's not quite worth it for this game alone. But by itself, the price is good. You could wait for it to go on sale, but there isn't too much lower that this game can go. In terms of gauging if it's worth the time and effort, here's the other main draw to this game: the achievements. This game has a total of 35 achievements, in which all of them happen over the course of you just playing. In terms of the time it would take to 100% this game, it would be a little under an hour. For me, the first time I got all the achievements, it took me about 45 minutes. So, this game is very affordable and can give those achievement hunters quite a few achievements alongside a perfect game without a horrendous amount of time spent. I think for a title like this, you can't go wrong with it. Out of the games I've played thus far, I think there are others that give you more bang for your buck, but if you're on a budget and want something with less commitment, this would be a good option. Thank you all for watching this episode of the Steam Completion Challenge. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing so you can stay up to date on the challenge. I also open a Patreon if anyone wanted and is able to support my content. Right now there are mainly Twitch stream VODs, but you will also get your name read out at the end of these videos as a thank you from me. So thank you, stranger, for your support on Patreon. Anyways, the next episode of the challenge will be on Uno, so please stay tuned for that in upcoming weeks. Thanks again for watching.